After a painstaking 22-year restoration, at a cost of over £160,000 sterling, Nancy is finally in full steam again. Having first steamed out of Bristol in 1908 for life in the ironstone quarries, the 111-year-old engine will start a new life with the Cavan and Leitrim Railway. The 14-ton loco must embark on a 500-kilometre journey across the Irish Sea in a race against time before Brexit. Her return will restore the Cavan and Leitrim Railway to steam after a 15-year absence. Once home, Nancy will be one of a few working steam engines in Ireland.
Nancy's unique because it's the only Avonside 3-foot gauge engine we know of left in the world.
Now that Nancy is back on track, her legend is reborn. Two weeks before Nancy's scheduled arrival, and volunteers are busy preparing the line for this historic day. It's been over 2 decades since Nancy last rolled down these tracks, departing Dromod for Herefordshire only weeks after purchase from Shane's Castle.
Well, we knew about Nancy from way back in the 1990s, and we approached Lord O'Neill, who said that he was going to offer the engine to the Foyle Valley in Derry. And they came and looked at it and said it was only a heap of scrap. So then we were on next in line, so we got the engine. And it cost about 6,000 to buy and 1,000 for the plans. So 7,000 sterling altogether it cost, in bits. And I was able to give those plans to Patrick Keefe, who again supplied them to Israel Newton, and they built the boiler.
Nancy's been with us here at Allen Keefe Limited for 22 years now. Came in 1997 as a total wreck and has been slowly worked on ever since on a stop-start basis. When it arrived, it really was just a collection of bits and pieces. The chassis rolled up and down, but there were no cylinders on it. There was no foot plating. It was the cab and tanks were all rotten, and the boiler, of course, was partly dismantled. So the loco was really in a terrible state, and we sort of put it in the corner and all scratched our heads and wondered, where do we go from here? But there we are.
Her residence at Keefe's in Ross-on-Wye was only meant to be temporary, yet as the years moved on, so too did the hope of ever seeing Nancy back in Dromod. Hopes depleted further with the financial crisis of the mid-2000s, and pending repairs on steam engine Dromod consequently left the museum without steam for the next decade. Interest in completing Nancy rekindled in 2016 as a result of Brexit.
I wrote to the Irish authorities and they wrote back and said yes, if Britain dropped out of the EU, that we would be liable for tax and VAT on the cost of the engine, which would be thousands of euros.
A group of enthusiasts came together to form the Avonside Nancy Restoration Group, with the objective of fundraising for Nancy's urgent completion and return.
We already spent about 100,000, 120,000 sterling on the engine, and it came to 2 years ago, and we sat down, we had a meeting among ourselves, and we decided we'd finish the engine. And not only did we sell a few things that we didn't need here in Dromod, but also we went full back on Facebook to raise the funds.
We got a good couple of thousand through it, and I suppose from contacting other people, people knew what we were doing and got on board and became partners with it. Like we've had donations from Taiwan, from Indonesia, from America, from everywhere. So it's putting Cavan and Leitrim on the international map.
With restoration finally complete, the Cavan and Leitrim Railway are invited to Ross-on-Wye for Nancy's first steam test. This steam test will confirm whether Nancy is fit for purpose and ready to go home.
The loco has had a comprehensive rebuild. It's more than just an overhaul, it's a rebuild. The bottom half, the wheels, the motion, the frame have been completely rebuilt, overhauled. All the motion, bearings and such like have all been redone. But above the footplate, nearly the whole loco is new. It's got new boiler, new cab, new tanks, new bunker, new cladding, a new smoke box, quite a lot of new pipe work, and of course the wonderful chimney from Ireland that came off an LMS NCC narrow gauge loco. So there's a real piece of Irish heritage on the front of the loco.
The chimney we found wasn't suitable for the engine, so I went looking for another one, and we found out that Downpatrick Railway had an NCC locomotive chimney. So I rang them up and they said yes, you can have the chimney, and it suited perfectly. It was like it was always made for the engine.
Mechanically and technically, the loco is much the same as many other jobs that we've done here over the years, but the real challenge has been in this last few months, the uncertainty over the political situation in the UK, the Brexit, and then the whole business of potentially having to get the loco shipped back to Ireland in advance of Brexit has seriously shortened the last timescale to a point where within a week the loco's gone from being almost completely dismantled with a whole pile of bits painted ready to go on to being a working loco on the Friday. But we've done it. She'll be good to go.
The logo lights it. Yeah. With a photo.
The steam gauge is off a Lochswilly engine, and so is the whistle. It's off a giant locomotive, which is a 484 Hudswell Clark locomotive. It was the biggest narrow gauge engines in Ireland, and they were scrapped in 1953. But somebody rescued the whistle and the steam gauge, and now we have them on Nancy. So when we blow the whistle, it sounds like a Lochswilly engine.
Having first seen it 26 years ago as a derelict wreck at Shane's Castle in County Antrim, in very poor condition, to actually see it in steam and actually alive is very emotional, and is only possible through the efforts of so many people over the last 20 years to actually achieve this.
The steam test is a success, and the group celebrate on reaching this historic milestone.
Thanks to Patrick and Alice and Alan and all the team at Alan Keeps and Jez. Yeah. She'll be on her way back to Ireland next week.
But the challenge isn't over yet. Nancy has an expedition across the Irish Sea. "6 a.m. Irish Ferries Ulysses has docked in Dublin. Nancy disembarks the deck. She continues on her journey. Next stop, Dromod. Excitement brews as Nancy slowly arrives. Finally, after years of planning, preparing and fundraising, the dream has finally become reality.
Nancy has returned on a very special weekend, and that's the 31st of March, and that's the day 60 years ago that the line closed.
I can't believe she's back. No, it feels amazing to have Nancy back. It's probably something I didn't think would happen so quickly.
As for Nancy, she will begin her new life as a working demonstration for now, the signature attraction that is expected to attract countless visitors from across the world.
May she steam for a good more years to come.